buddhi doesn't take any initiative or anything to tell what karma has to be done to the ahankara?
It does, because the raga and dvesh, as I'm telling you, they are actually residing in your buddhi only. But those raga and dvesh are also meaningless if ahankar doesn't give you the I-ness about it. So the real action which you will take will be determined by the buddhi. But ahankar is giving the primal force is from ahankar. If ahankar you remove, then you will not perform any karma at all. If buddhi you remove, then maybe you can still perform some karma. But without ahankar and without this feeling that I am this body, you will not be performing any karma.
Got it.
Okay, all right, everybody is fine so far?
Yes.
Okay, so I am muting now, everybody.
Yes.
And now we will go into the 67. कर्म निमित्तः प्रकृतेः स्वस्वामी भावो अप्यनादिर बीजांकुरवत्. So again we come to this Bijankur analogy. This seems to be a favorite analogy of Kapila between this Bij and the Ankur. So he says that sorry for that. Karma nimittah prakriteh swaswami bhavah api anadihi Bijankurat. So he says this karma nimitta, which is ahankara. Karma, the nimitta karana for karma. Okay, the impelling force for doing karma is ahankara, which is the swaswami bhava of prakriti. That means the soul feels that this body is me, is my wealth. Swa has different meanings in different contexts, but one of the meaning is dhana. So this body, which is my dhana, I am the swami of this dhana. Okay, so this swa swami bhava, I control this body, I am this body. This bhava which is there of prakriti, that means in prakriti, this soul gets this bhava, and this is the karma nimitta. Therefore it is ahankar which is the karma nimitta, because ahankar is the one which is producing this swaswami bhava. It is in the soul, it is creating this feeling that I am this body. So that is this swaswami bhava. This is also anadi, eternal, just like bij, seed, and its sprout. So you take a seed and it sprouts, it converts into a tree, which again generates a seed, and the cycle continues. So similarly, this soul which has ahankar connected to it performs karma. The karma now requires the phala to be received, so it goes into this cycle of janma. Now it will lead to a janma where again you will be connected to ahankara, which will make you perform karma, which will again lead to another janma. So this cycle of mrityu and janma is continuously there because of karma. So karma is also the nimitta for janma. Okay, and that nimitta in the final analysis is provided by ahankara.
Here he uses the anadi nature of birth, death, but hopefully he doesn't mean ananta.
Yeah, so this anadi is, you're right, that's a good question. Anadi is that cyclical infinity which we are talking about. So it is not actually anadi. So you may have gone through moksha sometime, and then when you reverted, then that cycle started. And then now when you achieve moksha, then again that cycle will end. So yes, while this cycle round and round is there, there is a exit path which exists. And then because of that exit path, there is another entry path which is coming from the other side.
In every Janma, the Ahankar will be the same.
Yeah, so Ahankar is part of the Sukshma Sharira. So that continues throughout creation. You will have a single Sukshma Sharira.
So
But,
I can
but
never
it
get
won't be
rid
the
of
same
Ahankar.
really, because Viveka Prapti is not like one single shot. There is a progression towards complete Viveka Prapti. So I would say that the Ahankara gets weaker and weaker if we do the right things.
Yes, but that same
Ahankar.
Ahankar is there. You will not drop it and acquire afresh in another birth. So you will carry it across birth. What you do with it is up to you. Same is true for buddhi, same is true for mana, but even indriyas actually. And then whatever you have done in the previous birth, that will continue into the next birth. And now if you manage to overcome all these things and be able to establish viveka and get out of this cycle, that is the only time you will shed your sukshma sharira. Otherwise, the Sharira will remain the same. Tanu Karan, which you are talking about, Anuj, will be on the same Sharira.
Uttara,
Yeah.
no, when Mr. Chandran asked if you come back with the same Ahankar,
Mm-hmm.
is it levels you come back with, or you could be a little less Ahankar?
That is.
No, what did he mean by same Ahankar? I didn't get it.
This Sukshma Sharira, okay, which consists of what all? It consists of Buddhi, Ahankar, Mana,
Yeah.
10 Indriyas, and 5 Tanmatras. Okay.
Okay, so
So this Sukshma Sharira, this whole package stays
okay.
with you across births.
Okay.
So
So
that's
it's nothing to do with you are more arrogant or
yeah.
nothing like
That's
that.
No.
Okay.
Ahankar
Okay.
is not arrogance here.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, the I-ness doesn't have like levels of.
It does. So what Anuj was saying, that you can reduce the I-ness, so you can make your Ahankar more transparent with your austerities which you go through and the meditation which you perform. So it will definitely reduce the layer of Ahankar, and then that reduced Ahankar will continue into your next birth, so that
Okay.
in your next birth you will already be a little virakt person.
Okay, got
Yeah.
it. Huh.
Yeah. So
Basically,
all
Kala,
the things
to
which
reassure.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, to reassure you, Kala, basically when she said the same, she didn't mean the same old, she meant the same new.
No, to be exact, it is the same Sukshma Sharira. It's not as if you will shed
That-
some part of this body. This body
But
will.
no memory, right? Or
Of course,
So,
memory, the vasana.
see, you remember in Yoga Darshan, it was said that if you focus on something, if you do dharana, dhyana, and samadhi together, then that was called sanyama. And that sanyama, if you do now in something, I forget in what item you have to do sanyama, kshana probably, if you do sanyama, then you will remember your previous birth.
okay.
So that means somewhere it is there internally that data exists. It is not just available to you for in your.
So if it's not available to me, what decisions I'm taking now will also not be governed by that, right?
They will be governed a little bit based on the sanskaras which you develop during that time. So
Okay.
in those.
So I may not remember individual items, but
Yes.
overall effect, whatever it has had, if it has made a deep mark,
Correct.
then that will come back to, help me to judge currently, right?
Yeah.
I mean, or whatever.
So to take the easy example on the negative side, if you develop the lust for something in your previous birth, then you will continue with that lust into the next birth as well. So that is how the impressions, the sanskaras which you form at any given time are going to continue into your previous one, and that is why this every janma is so important, and you should not fritter away your time while here. You have to ensure that you remove the durgunas from yourself. And
So that means, Uttira, that our Sukshma Sharira is full of data collection is there already, previous janmas and all these janmas.
Yeah.
And only thing, some of them are influences that data influences our action in this janma, is it?
yeah,
Okay.
not some, I would say the resultant, the final outcome. As far as sanskaras go, in this janma, you will erase some of your sanskaras, you will establish some new sanskaras. So whatever final baggage of sanskaras you have, that you will carry forward. And then there are the actual memories of what you were in your previous birth. Whether you were a sparrow or a dog or an earthworm or whatever you were, that information is also present. That is only information. There is nothing to act upon over there. But sanskaras are the things which create the rag and dvesh in you. So you can see even in children, even in children who are newborn, there is some affinity towards some things, and they will hate certain other things.
Correct.
Yeah, so those are all
it does
part of the sanskaras, something which God has given you as well, and also your sanskaras.
If Karmendriya is part of the package,
Sorry?
which is, if Karmendriya is the part of the package which gets reborn, etc., then if a person is lame this time, next janma he will be lame also?
No, so that is the difference between your gross body and the subtle body. So the subtle body has, as I have said earlier, like stubs it has, okay? So it provides the capacity. So if by chance you have legs in this body, functioning legs, then that stub will become active and it will operate your legs. If you don't have, if you are a snake, then that part will be inactive. So the capacity is what is present in the Sukshma Sharira. The form which the body takes, accordingly the capacities are connected or not connected. Okay. So next one, 68. Aviveka nimittako va panchashikha. So in the previous sutra, Kapila told you that the karma nimitta was this swaswami bhava of prakriti. In prakriti, I should say. Okay, in normal language, not Sanskrit, that is. So he is giving now a slightly different view from his Shishya's Shishya. So his Kapila's Shishya was Asuri, and Asuri had a Shishya called Panchashikha. So this Panchashikha wrote Shashti Tantra, which was also actually a commentary on this Sankhya, Kapila's work only. So there, it had actually 60 something in it. Tantra, that is why it is called Shashti Tantra. So he wrote this commentary, and in that commentary, he differed from Kapil a little bit, and he said that karma is actually aviveka nimittaka. The nimitta of the nimitta karan of karma is aviveka. Now I see this Swaswami Bhava and Avivek are actually the same thing. You can say Avivek is a negative angle and Swaswami Bhava is a positive angle. There is a possibility that Panchashikha, what Kapila means here by this statement is that Panchashikha believed that there is something different from Ahankara, some entity, some element which he called Aviveka. So Aviveka he just did not see as ignorance and a quality, but probably he saw it as something which is which has some physical existence. That is why he has said it as aviveka nimittako va panchashika. So actually,
Actually, that is in Shashti, no? Panchashikha is in Shashti, I think.
no.
Like they do in sutras, lopa shakatayanasya, like that.
Yeah, correct. Panchashikaha, Panchashikasya mate aviveka nimittakaha karma. Okay.
Got it.
Okay. So Shashti actually, Shashti. What I was telling you was that you may have got confused between some of the things which I say, whether because I said this whole section is my explanation, whether everything is doubtful or not. So I must tell you that I teach three kind of upadeshas are there in what I tell you. So one is where me and the commentators, all of us are united in what the meaning of a particular sutta is. In the second one, I have a particular opinion which I differ from those people, and I'm pretty sure that I'm right because of some things before, after, which come. So there I don't tell you that this, take it with a pinch of salt, because it is certain as per me. But there are those other things which I kind of extrapolate, and there is no proof for those which I have, and that is where I tell you that you must take it with a pinch of salt, because I do not have a proof there. So please don't take everything I tell you as a with a pinch of salt.
But you clearly disagree with the commentator there.
No, here in this whole section I am disagreeing actually with the commentators, because the commentators are not able to accept the fact that ahankar is a karta. So if you read the commentary, he has taken jivatma, which is ahankar yukta jivatma, because he's not able to digest the fact that Kapila is saying ahankar is the karta. See,
Giving it another special status is distasteful to them.
No, throughout we read that Jivatma is the Karta, no? So this is a whole different paradigm shift. So they're not able to accept it that Kapila is saying that Ahankara is the Karta. So in sutra after sutra, they change his language, and they force something down his throat. But we should be true to what the author is saying. So the author is saying repeatedly in sutra after sutra. If you go back this whole section, you will see he's saying again and again, Ahankar is the Karta, Ahankar is the Karta, that soul is not the Karta. And the difference is where I've told you. That is why I've told you that you have to be very clear about how Ahankar is the Karta. And if you're not clear, just leave it, because it is a very, very subtle subject. And that is what even the commentators have not understood it. If you have not understood it, no problem, leave it. But I am pretty certain from my side when I'm teaching you that Kapila is saying Ahankar is the Karta. To put words into his mouth is not acceptable to me. That Ahankar Yukta Karta, Ahankar Yukta Jivatma, they have put everywhere, which is not correct. He is trying to tell us something more subtle. So, so you can see here when he is giving the other alternatives also, it is. Why will he say aviveka nimittaka? He would say aviveka yukta jivatma, but he's again and again he is pointing to material. There is a material entity which is leading to the karma.
Actually, this is very much very similar to the so-called dual personality aspect that we sometimes ascribe to ourselves, saying, hey, there is this godly thing in us, but there is also this devilish thing in us. It seems like Atma and Ahankara are the two faces.
No, Anuj. Don't mix with that. No, those are two parts of you, in the sense all of us have in our personality, which personality is fully material. So this personality which Ahankara generates, actually, it's good that you brought up this thing. Personality is something like Ahankara generated. So this has this aspect where if you are very tamasic, then you are on the bad side, and if you are very sattvic, then you are on the good side. So this sattva, raja and tama, always remember these are part of material body only. They are not part of the soul. The soul is not good or bad. It does not have.
Got it. Yeah, but still there are these silly things where we see that dichotomy, where we say we are very heavy, very what you call soul like in some matters, but very, yeah, I mean, filled with ahankara in other matters. I mean, there seems to be total diversity in how we approach a few two different things.
So one is there, you are talking of arrogance again as ahankara, which is not being discussed here. Here we are not talking of ahankara as arrogance, but ahankara as this I-ness which is there between you and the body, which is quite different, though it does lead to that arrogance as well, but that arrogance is comes much down the line. We can have this I-ness even without arrogance. And sorry, what was it you said, which I was going to tell you about? So there is this arrogance which is there, and
The soulness, whatever he said.
yeah, the spiritual angle you can take as the other side, spiritual part. That is actually the other side, which is devoid of trigunas. So that is really the expression of your soul.
So are they saying that again and again the usage of ahankara yukt soul, because it is very hard for us to think that an inanimate matter can think and do the action? Is it because of that
Correct.
discomfort that, you know, because I like you said, you know, the sun go round, the moon go round, but they have some strict laws. But for human beings, it's a little different in the sense that you have to apply yourself to do action. Is that the reason why, you know, there is that confusion on that part?
Correct. So in that sutra, adrishtro udbhutivat samanatvam, there you must see the hand of God there. There also it is not exclusively matter which is now working as if any intervention from God. Intervention from God do exist, and similarly in us we have continuous intervention from the soul, and it is true that the soul has to provide that volition. After all, that volition is the consciousness. If once we stop making any sankalpas, we are dead. So it is true that the soul is the one which actually says, I will do this. However, that I will do this is being pushed by ahankara.
Okay.
So therefore, see, it is like you put your finger on the flame and then you have to you remove it. Okay, so it's an involuntary reaction which is generated by the flame and the burning of your finger. Okay, you don't have anything to do with it, and your machinery is so beautifully made by God that it automatically removes itself from danger. So that is one mechanism in which there is no intervention by the soul. By a similar mechanism also, ahankar plays a role, and the soul provides a overriding role on, I should say, on top of that. Okay. So if now we put our finger into the fire, the soul can say no, continue to be in the fire. Okay, so our involuntary reaction is to pull our finger away, but the soul, along with the help of buddhi and ahankar, is now out to show that I can put my finger in the flame. So it will continue to keep the finger on the flame. So that is where the soul's intervention also comes in. But all this is material. Actually, it's not touching the soul. You want to show that I can put my finger on the fire. So that is why you are doing this. It's actually not you. It is not your finger. I mean, it is your finger, but it is not you here. So you are doing it on something else. So always remember that robot and the battery. Whenever you get confused, remember the robot with the battery inside. Okay,
Hmm.
so the battery has to provide that impulse.
Energy.
When the battery dies down, the robot is dead. But the action is being performed by the robot only. And the robot wants to go from point A to point B. The battery doesn't want to go anywhere. The robot only wants. A robot will drive to a lubricant station because it needs lubricant. Okay, so it is the robot which needs the lubricant. It is the robot which needs to go from point A to point B. It is not the battery.
Hmm.
Same thing applies. Your body needs a whole lot of things. It makes you do a whole lot of things you think you are doing, but actually it is the body which is making you do. You are just providing.
Only it is non-rechargeable battery.
Correct. Okay, so let's try and finish these two before our time runs out. Linga Sharira Nimittaka iti Sanandanacharyaha. So he gives another viewpoint of some acharya who is called Sanandana, and he says that this karma nimitta is actually through linga sharira. Linga sharira is again the sukshma sharira, which, as I told you, consists of those how many parts? Those many parts. Okay, dasha indriya, mana, ahankara, buddhi, tera karana plus pancha tanmatra, that is 18. So this was given in 3.9. Read over there. So this sukshma sharir which is there, this is actually the one which is leading to karma. So according to Sanandana Acharya, the whole conglomerate, buddhi, mana, etc., everything is involved in performing karma. So like you had a doubt, it is a correct doubt. And because Kapila does not want to push something down your throat, he has given you these other two viewpoints as well, which he respects, but he does not agree with. According to him, it is only ahankara. Okay, so then last one. Yadva tadva taduchittihi purusharthas taduchittihi purusharthaha. So repetition of taduchittihi purushartha is to indicate the end of the chapter and also the end of the grantha. So he says that it may be by this, it may be by that. But the whole idea of life is that we have to put in effort for the removal of this connection. Taduchittihi, this ahankar connection which we have, or aviveka connection which we have, or linga sharira connection which we have, that needs to be broken. That is the whole idea of the effort which we have to put in this janma. The whole janma is centered around removing this connection. If you have removed this connection, you have achieved your ultimate goal. So this is the end of Sankhya. I'm very happy we have finished it today. And it's great that most of you have been there right from the beginning. Those who came in the middle also got in.
It's been a long 2+ years. I was thinking June of 2018, I think we started.
Yeah, correct. It is 2+ years. So we have all survived. That is really good. So please review now the whole thing. And before we are kicked out in a moment, please do revise. And next week, as I wrote on WhatsApp, you please present what has really affected you, what is the biggest takeaway for you, and what are the sutras from which you got that takeaway. So explain that sutra or sutras, one or two, and what is the biggest thing which you learned from this. So there may be some overlap, which is all okay. Of course, if you have any doubts, we shall cover that as well. All right.
Okay, Uttaraji.
Okay. Namaste.
Okay, dhanyavad. Namaste.
No, we are going to do the Shanti Patna.
Oh yeah, sorry. Thanks for reminding. Okay.
Abhayam mitra.
Abhayam amitra.
Abhayam
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 puroyah.
Abhayam
Abhayam naktam. Abhayam divanah. Sarvasha Mama Mitram Bhavantu.
Om
Shanti Shanti
Shanti.
Thank you, Uttara.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Dhanyawad.
Uttara ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so
much. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
See you next
Bye.
week.
Bye.
next week.
Bye.
Yes.
See you next week.
Yeah.